It is one of TV's biggest breakout hits. We're talking about ABC's Revenge, about a young woman who moves to the Hamptons to give back at people who ruined her life and her father's life. It is watched by about 7 million people each week. Who's counting? The big season finale is just around the corner, and we are excited to have 3 of the show stars with us. Emily Vancamp, Josh Bowman, and Madeleine Stowe. Good to have you all here with us again this morning.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Gosh, now can you just start with the Emily stare? I mean, everyone, we were asking people, there's like, you have this look. I watch every week, and I'm at home and I get that chill.
I don't know where that comes from. My mom always calls me asking me, where does that come from? When did you get?
What are you thinking when you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. We joke about it quite a bit. You can probably do it pretty well.
I do a good stare. I don't do, but we tell you don't stop till you
it
get
has
the
many
croc.
names. The death stare. It has the croc. I mean,
Well, you have it down pat.
Oh, thank you.
Do you all have Madeleine? Because it's such a tense show as far as the characters and the way you are with each other. But on set, do you play jokes? Do you have breaks? How do you loosen things up on set, or do you?
Well, I know Josh is a jokester on the set, but Emily and I sometimes just look at each other and shake our heads and say, "This is so sick."
It's so sick that it's fun. I mean,
it is. It's demented. But I have to apologize to anybody. Sometimes because Victoria's in such a strange headspace, I have to be incredibly somber, and I know mean looks come over my face, and I hope no one misinterprets it on set. But we have these wonderful, delightful actors, and I think that hopefully they indulge it.
And it's lovely to see how your characters are evolving, because I always thought you're a good guy. Now I'm not so sure. Thought you were the evil one. Now I'm not so sure. How is it for you all as actors to play these roles?
I think it's just constantly changing. I think Mike Kelly comes up with interesting things the whole time, and I think we every time we read the script every week, I mean, at the end we're like, okay, didn't see that coming, or it's a change all the time. There's a constant sort of bounce back and forth.
With a show like this, you have to constantly reinvent it in a way. So we don't really follow any specific pattern or formula like most shows, which I think keeps it very interesting. And that's visually, I feel. It changes up all the time, stylistically, and the story is constantly changing, and the characters are complex and interesting, You don't quite know how to feel about any of these characters at any given moment.
I also think that's something in life. I mean, you're dealing with people who have innate power, and we tend to be very conflicted and charmed by these people and seduced by them in real life, and then there's this underbelly, this undertow that goes on with these kind of people. So you're always off kilter and off balance, and that's how these people retain their power. So I think that's a very interesting thing they tapped into.
That is, and it's you tapped it. I was wondering, and you said it so well, and it is kind of like life in so many ways, and that's what really draws us in as we're watching each and every week. Well, I'm going to play a little clip here because your characters are getting married, and there may be a few speed bumps along the way in the planning.
Obviously, we're not talking William and Kate territory, but you are considered American royalty. Well, Daniel is. Your heritage is still a little bit of a mystery, Emily. But in this case, that's a good thing. We can spin the fairy tale any way we want.
Emily.
You know where I stand.
I'm a very private person, always have been.
You can have an intimate wedding and still generate plenty of public interest. Not to mention press opportunities. Front page of the Sunday Style section.
No, there's always something, especially at the end. I couldn't help but notice, young man, that you, in real life, have a British accent.
I do.
You hail from across the pond.
Yes.
But on the set, of course not. But when you hear Ashley with her British accent...
I do jump. I guess it's more likely that I'll jump out of it when I hear her accent, because I'm thinking, oh, I'm home, and no, I'm not, but I'm American and I'm not, so...
You so rarely jump out of it, though. I'm always amazed at his ability. He just gets into it, and he's American for the day. It's amazing how you do that.
That's nice, but I actually lived... It's nice to come back here. I was here, I used to live here about 4 years ago, so it's nice to... This is where I sort of picked it up and started working on it. But I didn't come out with like a Queens or a Bronx accent.
Well, I noticed you were really paying attention to Katie Couric's promo about going over and talking with the Royals' grandchildren. So you had great interest in your watching
my
that.
grandma.
So on screen, we're trying to determine if you have really, talking about on screen, not off screen, fallen for Daniel, the character?
Well, I think there was an interesting shift that happened when he decided to side with his father, and he had an opportunity to sort of. He had an opportunity to come clean with some things, and he didn't, and that was very representative of which side he was on. And so I think there was a shift that happened in that episode where Emily decided that, yes, she was going to go through with the marriage, but it almost makes it easier because, in fact, it clarified that there is no love there, that he will, in fact, always be a Grayson. So that was a big shift in the character, and we'll see where that goes.
We'll have to see where it goes because we're excited there's going to be a season 2, Madeleine. There were so many people that were tweeting overnight when I asked them what their questions were, and they're wondering, how do you keep this going after the first season?
Well, it's a very, very tricky dance, and I think that Mike Kelly has a lot on his plate right now. And I think, you know, typical of all show creators, they don't fully know where everything is going to go because it's an organic process. With respect to Victoria, she's by season finale, she's looking for some kind of redemption. And so it's going to be a little bit of a shock to the system in terms of what happens to her and the actions that she takes.
I like that little
So
tease.
it's an interesting thing, and it was very clever of Mike to construct that.
He is brilliant, and just appreciate the work that you do, Madeleine, in Haiti. I know the
Thank
time that
you.
you have, and you're really making a difference.
Thank you. I just got back from there, and it's quite astonishing that the organization I work for services 900,000 people a year. And it's led by a man named Father Richard Frechette, who's also a doctor and a Catholic priest, and it's entirely Haitian run. There's no other ground organization like it.
And it's needed.
Very proud.
You should be. Madeleine, thank you.
Thank you.
Josh, thank you. And we have a Josh, and people have always saying that our Josh and you, Josh, look very much alike. Do we have a split?
Really.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of favorite.
No,
It's actually uncanny, that.
No. Listen, if I was normal sized, British, and unshaven, then yes. I see it.
Image of one another. Emily, thank you.
Thank you so
Continue
much.
to
Thank you, Ron,
very
for
much.
having
Thanks for
us.
having us.
We love having you here, and Revenge
Thank you.
airs Wednesday at 10, 9 Central right here on ABC.